What's up, everybody? This is Ronnie coming to you with our review. Weekend review basically from April 24th to the 30th. It's me today, just me. Wife is still away. Not sure when she's going to be back, but just plugging along right now. Doing good. Can't complain. So we're going to get into talk about some feedback and stuff like that. Um, I had one from a customer, and I've never been asked this before. Well, message wise, I should say. And they were willing for me to take an offer on an item, but they wanted me to pay the custom fees. I've never heard of that one before. I mean, we've sold on eBay for 5 years now and sold probably upwards of, last I looked, it was over 8,000 items, and I've never heard of that request before. It was pretty interesting. I turned it down. I just told them that we're not have nothing to do with custom fees. I don't even know how you could pay them on our end. I guess you could mark it as a gift, maybe. Maybe they would be able to get away with it. Maybe that's what they meant, but not really sure. And then we had another customer, very happy with a J Press two-piece suit he got. He's very happy about it. Told us, gave us his email and told us, did we get anything else in the size in that or Brooks Brothers? Let us know. He'll be interested. So that's always good when you exceed somebody's their perception of their item that they're going to get. You perceive the service, the quality, and everything. And you gotta love that. That was it on the questions. Really didn't get really too many crazy questions. I have tried this week. I changed out of the blue. I put best offer on everything. Lately, about a third of our sales have become of offers. Just people randomly giving us offers through the eBay messaging system. So I figured out, you know what? Let me just try best offer again. I'm not a big believer in it. It drives me crazy from time to time when people lowball you, but I don't get too upset about it. I just counter everything. Occasionally, I'll just not counter and just block. I mean, not block, decline and just move on. There's no reason to block anybody. I mean, I'm one of those guys. If somebody has the best offer on it, and they're asking $100, I'll hit $10 just to see what's happening and see what's going on and see where they counter. At least counter. I hate when people don't counter back. It drives me crazy. But we're gonna check it out, see how it works for a little while. Last week, mixed feelings about it. I'll talk about that a little bit in a second. You know, but then for the month overall, we had a pretty good amount of returns in April, which is weird because we did last year too. When I checked the numbers, it was really weird. No, March. Sorry, March we had a lot of return, a lot more than normal. And then this month we've only had 2 returns, so that was kind of back to normal, I would say. 2 returns, one of them being a suit for $180, which is always a pain in the butt when you have something that's like that. It's always higher dollar things with me. It's never that $20 shirt. It's always, and he didn't. The turnaround on this was funny because he bought the item, I think, on a Tuesday. I sent it out on a Wednesday. He got the item on a Thursday because he lives here in Massachusetts. He opened it on a Friday that he wanted to return it, and then he sent it on a Saturday. So the return process on this, and I got it Monday, the return on this was like in and back to the house in 4 or 5 days. I mean, unusual because some of these people, when they do returns, they sit on an item for a while, don't return items. I believe there's a 6 business day window. If they don't return something in that period, you can call eBay and have them close the return. But from what I've had issues with, I've done that on a few things. So a few days pass and these people just go to PayPal and then they request a return to PayPal. So you get it one way or the other. Some people, I don't know what it is. Are they renting your item? Are they just slow returners? They just like, yeah, return it on my time. They forget about it. They no idea how that is, but it's kind of crazy. We had yeah, so I mean the returns, that's nothing. I think we're down to under 4% now for returns over the last however long period of it is. I think it's going back 3 months on ours, 4 months maybe, 3 month period, because you have to do a certain amount of return sales in a certain period of time. I think it's what 450 within or 400 in 3 months, and they'll your analytics go by 3 months. And if it's less than that, it goes over by the year, I think. Pretty sure. I could go look, but I'm just being too lazy. 3 international sales this week, one going to the UK, one going to Israel, and one going to Canada. Pretty normal places, nothing crazy. Canada and UK get a lot of items, as does Australia, and probably Israel is one of those countries that we ship stuff to fairly regularly. Just the main countries: France, Spain, occasionally. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Sales this week were well. We'll go sales for the week, and then we'll talk about sales for the month. But sales for the week, like I said, we tried best offer. We sold 35 items, which is a little light. Total amount was $1,669. Once again, that's a little on the lighter side. Average price per sale or whatever was $47.69. Sold a lot of smalls, and I took out the jacket I lost came out of that for $180. I think other than that, our biggest sale was probably like $80 or $75. I sold a drafting tool that I picked up at a yard sale for $10. Oh no, at the flea market. Sorry, picked it up for $10, and then I sold it for $75 as soon as I listed it. And there's two on there, one for $50 and one for $100. I priced it at $100, and it's weird that somebody shot me a $75 offer when the guy for $50 is still up there. But hey, I'll take it. Not going to complain about it at all. But it was a little slower. It's been a little slow. I haven't listed really at all since Gretchen's been gone in 3 weeks. I've listed a few things here and there. I got a few suits I got to list. The suits, not a big fan of taking photographs of suits and such. But, it's not that bad overall. But for the month, we wind up selling 143 items. So look, we got out of that 160 range, so we're down a little bit. Total sales for the month was $7,885. That came into $55.14. We were doing really well. We were averaging close to 60-ish or 59, and then last week, of course, was kind of a slower week where our average was down. So overall, we're right where we like to be. Like to be between $50 and $60. I like that neighborhood. It's a good neighborhood to be in. I'm not going to complain. But you can see the sales have been down a little bit. We've been averaging about 160. So our sales have went down. I mean, that's 10% probably. From last year, yeah, last year we're down about 800 from last year. That's weird. Every other month has been close to the same or more. February we did like 3,000 more than the month before, 3,000 at $2. So we're up from last year, but this month took a little bit of a hit, of course. But for y'all that don't know, our inventory has been getting smaller. Still doing really good sales. I think we're down to about 106. No, I mean, so what the? Whoa, slow your roll running. We're down to about 560, maybe 570 listings in that neighborhood. I like it. I like having less stuff, higher quality items, but definitely got to get back into the moving forward and listing and get more stuff. We sent some stuff in. Y'all didn't check out the video a few videos ago. We sent some stuff to the Reel to Reel. It's a consignment website. We did a whole thing about it. Wanted to check things out because of our future thrifting trip, and we wanted to see if this was a viable way to have somebody else sell our inventory for us. They're basically a consignment website, and they deal with higher end, extremely. They're on the high end men's and women's clothing, jewelry, purses, so on and so forth. I've known a few people have tried them. They've seemed to have good and bad luck. So that was just an offer coming in. Okay. But what was I gonna say? It's okay. With that being said, we sent in 18 items in total. I wanted to send a good chunk of items in to see how they price them, to see how they process them, to see how long it kind of takes to sell. From people have sent stuff in, I've heard that they're very quick. And stuff sells fairly quickly. Now the percentage was 55%. There's their cut once you get over 1,500, I believe, in sales per calendar year, your percentage goes up to 60. But that item also has to sell for $120 or more to get that 60%. And I think I read somewhere where you can get up to 70%, but I forgot exactly what total that was. I think it was possibly $10,000. You have to hit that threshold, then you could get a certain percentage. And it's not a bad, that's actually really good. I mean, if you think about it. I mean, somebody else is photographing your stuff, sending your stuff, selling it. You just have to go and buy it. This has had me really rethink how we do things. And I've also talked to a few of our other co-signers that do co-signment on eBay. The Reel to Reel is not on eBay. Reel to Reel have their own website. But I've talked to some on eBay too as a viable source possibly to liquidate some items. And I think they're pretty fair with what they offered me. And we're probably going to go through and check that out within the next few months. But I sent the items in there Friday. Oh, boy, not good with that one. But they send you a prepaid label. You send it on the box. You put your items in there. They give you a packing slip inside. and I sent it on Friday afternoon. It must have been about 4 o'clock because I know it was FedEx. Our FedEx leaves about 5:30. It's out of an old Kinko's. I think they own Kinko's now, or did, bought them out. But anyway, it's close by. I just drive over there. I dropped it off, and they actually received it Sunday, which I thought was crazy. The lady called me Friday morning, told me they received it, and they're gonna process it. I'm not sure if they're gonna accept all the items. I haven't heard back from them so far, but you will hear about that next week's thing. But sent in 18 items, about $1,000 worth of eBay value. So that's like about I don't know. We'll see what happens. A bunch of things that weren't selling very fast anyway. So we'll see what happens. Another question I got the other day was basically along the lines of how did we get what's the word I want to use? Has the Crazy Picker Life kind of gave us any inspiration for this current thrifting cross-country trip we're thinking about? And they have, in a way, but this has been an idea. We've talked about it in the past on certain Pickers churches. We've done the Picker Church show almost 3 years now. Originally, it was me, Chad, Jesse Forbes, Square Deal Guy. Rudy was occasionally on there. I feel like maybe I'm missing somebody. But yeah, for a while it was just us. And we changed days. I know certain people left the show. They just didn't want to do it anymore. Like Jesse, I know, went on to do something else. And Square had he moved and just didn't find time for YouTube after going full time. I feel like we added somebody at one time or another. Oh yeah, we did add Dusty at one time. Dusty left to do his own show with somebody else. Not a big deal. And then just me and Chad at the moment. But we've talked about it in the past. I've talked about it when Square Deal Guy was still on the show, and I've talked about it also when Dusty is on there. It's something that I think a lot of people think about, taking an RV, crossing the country. It just seems like that crazy thing, but it's how do you make the money while being on the road? And I think we're going to try to show people it can happen or not. The first person I remembered was it was 2014, I believe. I might be wrong on the date. Late 2014, Dallas Moore. Picking Live is his Facebook page. Great guy. He went on a little trip. He bought an RV. I think he went out for like 6 weeks, and basically 4 to 6 weeks, I believe, and just went crazy and picked up all this stuff for FBA. I think he was sending stuff in, and it got me this idea. It was like, because at that time I just got reinstated, I think, on eBay or Amazon. I said, just got reinstated on Amazon. I had issues with Amazon, so I was like, oh, this is an option. But I could never get into the Amazon lifestyle. I don't know. I just never liked it, sending stuff in, doing that. And then shortly after that, Rakin did his cross-country thing, Rakin Profits. And he did videos like every day where he went around and hotel to hotel, and basically was just like he sprinted across the USA and sprinted back. And as it was a great idea, but I don't think he took a lot of time to see anything, see the sites, other than see inside the thrift stores. But he did FBA on that too, Amazon. So it was kind of interesting. I did remember near the end he was running out of space because he has his car. It's a sedan. I mean, there's only so much stuff you can source and not ship, and before you run out of issues with space. Um, the Dorky Thrifters are another bunch that they started. They bought an RV probably within the last, I would say, 9 to 12 months, and they sold on eBay, kind of a lot of smalls like sunglasses and stuff like that, and are eyeglasses actually. I believe that's her niche. And God bless her. She lost her husband probably about 6 months ago. Terrible tragedy, especially when you have kids involved and everything like that. That's just, it's heartbreaking. Um, but they all these people have given me that inspiration that it can be done, and it gave you that idea that, oh well, others have done similar things. Now we all had different niches. Some people use FBA, some people use dorky thrifters used eBay. So it did give you that idea that it can be a reality. Crazy Picker Life was kind of the one that I think maybe got me more excited about it, and kind of because he came up with certain different ideas that maybe I could have sold my wife on, because my wife's always been a little cold to this idea. But he had the idea of going to using Airbnb. It's a website online. If you don't know, my wife didn't know about this till a few months ago, that you could, or till last year when we went to New York. She was like, you knew about this website? It was like, yeah, but it was kind of crazy. And never have your wife book a place, because the place we had in New York City when we went there last year sucked. I should have booked it. But he had some great ideas of using the Airbnbs. This way you basically have a home base when you're on the road. You stay somewhere for a period of time. And it had a really good idea about it, doing it that way. And then you bring a trailer or a truck, and I think he was going with a trailer idea, a cargo trailer. Hook it up to your vehicle, probably 7 by 14. You have all your items, your stuff in there. I thought about the idea, and I wasn't keen on Airbnbs. I'm not the biggest fan of those, really, per se. If you ever look, you could easily spend $4,000 or $5,000 a month renting a house, and it kind of can become very pricey doing it that way. And then the cargo trailer's really not a bad idea, but I don't know if I want to be shipping everywhere. And I think this is where my niche plays a good part, because we have clothing niche, and clothing is very easily can be resold by somebody else. And I think that's what I really liked with this, is that we can do this with sending stuff into somebody else. We could actually grow our business and just really send stuff to other people. We could work less because we're not listing it, we're not shipping it, and we can enjoy more of traveling. And I think that's what we want to do. Go out 2 or 3 days a week and just really take it hard, hit, yard sales, estate sales, flea markets, and just gather up everything. And then it's like, okay, this part goes to this co-signer, this part goes to this co-signer, this stuff goes to eBay. And maybe we get some straggler things that we will sell ourselves on eBay, just because it's like, oh, it's a drafting tool, we can sell that. You know what I'm saying? Or something. I mean, there's certain things I know that we'll probably have to get rid of, and I'm okay with that items. And it just gives more freedom. It gives more ability to go out there. And I think it's going to be fun, because I think the biggest thing we hear about is this thing as well. We can't find certain things in this area, that area, and we've really had success in every area we've been in thrifting. I've thrifted in upstate New York and have found some great items. Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont. You know what? I take that back because I did not do well in Florida. Orlando, maybe I didn't know where to look, but Orlando, I struggled in Orlando trying to find any. I found a few different things, but it was definitely different um, from what I'm used to. But I mean, there's certain areas of Florida that seem to do very well. Like I see a lot of people in the Fort Lauderdale, Miami area, and they actually kill it. So, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to take some time, check some other places out, and I think it'll be just fun. But I mean, all these people, in some way, has inspired me to really make this trip possible. Have really put the battery in my back to really make me want to push forward and do this. I think it's a great idea. It has been done before, and it's been done by a lot of people that don't even make videos. But I love the idea of it. I mean, where else could you just go off and just venture and you can make money doing this? You know, it's crazy. It's such a cool idea. But gonna wrap it up, I believe. I guess that's about all I got for you. Oh, and some people ask about how long of the trip I would think. You know what? To do it right, I would think to go away for 3 to 4 years. I know this sounds crazy, but that's kind of what the idea I have of thinking about it. And my wife, with her current idea of possibly moving back to the Dominican Republic, let's say we see the US and she seriously still wants to move back home full time and live there, we set up kind of a interesting way that we can still make money with co-signing an FBA, hopefully, that we've opened the door to this. We've probably built up relationships with these people that we'll be using, and it probably we could come to the US, source for 2 3 weeks, just go all out, source stuff, get the stuff to them, and then take the next 3 or 4 months off probably, and then just repeat the the thing, and then really enjoy life. I mean, that would be an easy thing to do. I'm not sure if we would do it, but it would fit a lifestyle that we've tried to create for ourselves off of our niche. And another thing is I could visit these vintage advertising shows. I think there's like 30 or 40 shows across the country, big shows, that we could kind of not go to all of them, but we're in a in a vicinity to an area that has a show that week or something like that. We can go. Speaking of shows, next week is Brimfield, Massachusetts has their show. But I gotta get going here. But if you like these, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a good day, everybody. See you later. Have a good week.